Real quick, this is not gonna be a long video. I just wanted to share what I wrote in my journal a couple days ago. It was like 4 in the morning and I was just writing. It was like my mind was connected to the pen and I was just writing. I love when I get in that mode, bro. So here it goes. And this might just be untitled, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really have a title for it, but it's just mana, spiritual food. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. Humans are estimated to have an average of 6,200 to 80,000 thoughts per day, but there is a discrepancy within this range. It stems from earlier studies being based on self-observation, while newer studies offer more objective measurements, but still face the challenge of precisely defining what constitutes a distinct thought. So they don't know when one thought goes from another one, right? Now, I said, what if that is because we think so much it can't be measured? What if the gray area of thought transition leaves enough room for infinity to intercede? What y'all think? They call God infinite intelligence, and he is within us. God is infinite, and so is his creativity, ideas, and thoughts. On that note, we could assume that a connection/alignment with the creator in his frequency, signal, and wavelength would open us up to infinity. Frequency, signal, and wavelength. Okay, I'm gonna touch on these 3 terms, so remember those 3 terms: frequency, signal, and wavelength. You gain access, and with it comes success as a byproduct: wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Let's break down a recent revelation while creating an engulfing parable simultaneously. So at work today, I learned that radio waves are light. Essentially, light is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum, a giant rainbow of waves: gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet waves, visible light, infrared, microwaves, radio waves, all that. The only difference between them is wavelength. Now, what is wavelength, Verse? Wavelength is the distance between peaks of the waves. So waves like this, right? Every time it get to the top and then go back down and get back to the top, the distance between those 2 tops is the wavelength. The distance, not time, distance. Now, frequency is how many wave crests happen per second. So wave crest is, let me not even, you feel me? Because I know some of my people, we some visual learners, so we gotta kind of we gotta see it, you feel me? So I got y'all boys. So boom, first picture, right? We can look at it like the ocean. The crest, hold on, can I make this bigger? Boom, you feel me? So if y'all can't see that, the crest is the peak of the wave. Now, wavelength would be the distance between this one crest and this next one over here. So this distance in between is the wavelength. Now, how many crest peaks there are per second, like how many times it hits the peak per second is the frequency, how frequent it happens. So I just wanted to give y'all that real quick. I'm gonna keep that up there just in case. Let me turn it a little bit if I can. I don't think I can. Okay, that should be better. Now boom. Now you're probably repulsing on the physics lecture I'm giving, but look, my recently acquired knowledge, remember knowledge? Boom. Well, remember frequency, signal, and wavelength, and then wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. My recently acquired knowledge of radio waves being light was imprinted upon my mind today. So I gained knowledge today, like I gained awareness that wavelength, like I gained awareness that radio waves are light, just stretched out longer, like it's longer light. That was the knowledge. Now, I later used ChatGPT to gain an understanding of the science behind this concept and the factual explanation. So there's knowledge, then I use my resources to gain an understanding of the knowledge I just acquired. Now, after this, what did I do? I finally allowed God's thoughts to flow through my mind as I would observe. I finally allowed God's thoughts to flow through my mind and I observed them because I'm grounded in him. And this allowed his infinite wisdom to flow through. So boom, once you gain the knowledge, once you become aware of the fact, and then you use your resources, you use your index, you use whatever to understand the knowledge, then you allow God to intercede and plug you in on the gray area that you feel me, that you don't understand how it's applied. Because remember, I told you a few videos ago God used wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to create everything. Like, there's literally a verse on it. It says, if I could find it, I could just put the clip in here, bro. Oh, I'm tripping. That everything created. So I let his infinite wisdom flow through, and what I gained from it was that everything created was intentional. The more in tune that we become with the frequency of God, which is how many wave crests of thoughts per second, we shrink the wavelength between each revelation, hunch, and idea. The more this occurs, the more we elevate closer to the physical manifestation of our infinite, unlimited power in Christ. But yeah, that was beautiful to me. That was beautiful. Now you understand why I was up so late, bro. Like, I really hope that just clicked for you. And if it didn't, you could always run it back, bro. You could always run it back. But I just find it fascinating, bro, how everything is connected. Like, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Frequency, wavelength. What else did I say? Frequency, wavelength, and signal. Like, because then there's signal and then there's noise. And then for me, it's like understanding this, I think about editing. Like, the other day I was editing, right? And when you edit, like, you look at the waveforms of the beat to mark the beat, like when it hits and stuff. And then I was realizing, like, bro, so when the beat hits, that's the crest. And then when the next beat hits, like when the next big beat hits, that's another crest. That's a cycle. So the beats are just cycles of bro, I don't even want to put y'all on. All right. But boom, you use the cycle, right? And you see what patterns there are within that cycle. So then you have the hi-hats, you have the 808s, you have whatever. Like, you have all these different components that they're using in the beat. You have the leads. That's my favorite one. Like, I love the lead, bro. Like, that's what gives the beat the atmosphere. And then for me, my mind conceptualizes it through visuals. So then I use the lead, like the atmospheres, as the color. And then I use the hi-hats as the flicker. And then I use the crest of the beat, which is where the beat hits, as like my impact. And then I also layer it with sound effects because it's already sound. So then I use the sound to intercede the gray area, but it's like God interceding into our understanding of things, because he uses his wisdom to place intention behind it. And sound effects are intentional. Sound effects are intentional. So I just love how it connects into everything. Like, not only editing, but art, it connects into our daily lives in so many ways, because once we become attuned to the frequency of God, it starts to connect that signal to him, because he's like a radio station. He's broadcasting to us all the time. Like, literally, if God is infinite, that means that all the thoughts that he has are infinite. And if we're a vessel for him, if he's speaking to us, that means he's always speaking to us. If he's infinite, he can't stop speaking to us. He literally always is. So that's why meditation and stuff is so imperative, because that's the only way to tune into him speaking. You can only tune into the infinite when you drain yourself of yourself. What's a better way to word this? You can only access everything once you reduce yourself to nothing. You can only have access to the infinite when you reduce yourself to nothing. Meaning, once you pour out everything that you're trying to think about, everything that you're trying to figure out, everything that you're trying to do, you pour that out and you become nothing, everything flows in. Literally, does that make sense to y'all? Because if you think about it, God is everything. The only thing that exists outside of God is nothing, which is HE double hockey stick. Eternal separation from God, because he's everything. If you don't want everything, then you'll have nothing. That's why God doesn't send you to hell. You choose it, because he wants you to have everything. He's not sending you there. If it's just you choosing that you don't want everything, you don't want all the love, you don't want all the compassion, you don't want all the peace, so then you can choose nothing. You can have nothing. You can have lack, which is the spirit of the enemy. God is the spirit of abundance. When are we going to understand? Let me shut this camera off before I have CIA looking for me, bro. Hey, bro. Versatyle out, man. Versatyle ain't signing out. Okay.